Howdy, the name's Coasterman, and welcome to part number 2 of the Mystic Branson Adventure. Today, I'm going to show off some more rides that I missed out on the previous part. So, join me for that, and I will meet you there. These are the high-low silos. I don't know what the company or model this is, but this ride is almost entirely man-powered. So, if you want to get up to the top, you're gonna have to have quite a bit of energy and just a tad of strength to go along with that. Regardless, should you manage to find your way up at the top and want to go down, well then, you just let go of the rope and it brings you back down. It's a really simple ride and very hands-on, and it's really for that reason that the ride views have to show this off. The motion shots, that is. So, I'll be getting on it really soon, and then giving my ride review. Although, with me already being this knowledgeable about it, I think you probably will already know what my ride review is going to be. The high-low silos is pretty well a combination of a rock climbing wall and a drop tower. That's basically the best way that I can describe this ride. And for what it is, I have to admit, it's a pretty good ride. The thing is, what it is a really tiny drop tower, which is man-powered. So, you will get a workout, trust me. You will get some sore arms if you're not used to all that lifting. So, now, I think I'm about to go to Valley Hills and see about some real high-ranking attractions. It's day number 2. Let's see what we can do here. Today, I don't really have much of a priority except for all of the rides that I missed yesterday, so I'm gonna hit those on Valley Road. Not Valley Hill, Valley Road. I forgot the name of the section yesterday. Remember how yesterday I told you that Wildfire placed first in my favorite rides of this park and Outlaw Run placed third? Well, there's gotta be something in between them, right? Introducing the Time Traveler, my all-time favorite spinning coaster, and my second favorite coaster in the park. This ride, manufactured by Mach, is an extreme spinning coaster. Yeah, that's pretty well a paraphrasing of its title. This thing wastes no time getting you into the action, with a 100-foot, 90-degree drop straight from the station. It is anything but a tame ride. So, let's hop right in. Like with a lot of well-themed high-thrill rides, this one has a main character. Charles Henry and Company Clockmakers is the one running these time travel tests. So, yeah, let's go ahead and volunteer, shall we? Watch this train real closely. Yup, it starts with a 100-foot, 90-degree drop. Here we get to see a real good view of why the Time Traveler places silver in my list of coasters in this park, and my list of rides for this park. So, soon enough you're gonna see one of its many charms. It combines the elements of practically every other roller coaster in the park. What you saw just a minute ago was the steep drop of Outlaw Run and the inversions of both Outlaw Run and Wildfire. And the launch segment that you see a while ago That is a direct callback to Powder Keg. So, what about the spinning seats? What do they represent, you may ask? Well, nothing on their own, but the fact that some people face backwards is a direct callback to Thunderation back when it had backwards facing seats. Now that I have taken on the big four, that is Wildfire, Time Traveler, Outlaw Run, and Powder Keg, now it's time to go for Thunderation. I believe this is a Aerodynamics Mine Train coaster. I know it's a mine train coaster for sure, but I just don't know the company that made it right now. So I'm going to show you more about that here in a little bit. To this day, I think this is the only mine train coaster that I've ever ridden on that had only one lift hill. I think every other one had 3. Though it may be, Thunderation is definitely a good starting place for roller coaster enthusiasts to be. This ride is not very tall, not very fast, but it's definitely a good, decent clip of speed. So, I believe I'm about to head over to the Great Exposition. Actually, while I said I was going to the Grand Exposition, yes, I mispronounced it, there is an easy to get to and easy to miss section of the park that I'd rather get to first. That is to say, the Frisco Silver Dollar line, and right next to it, the Flooded Mine. So the Frisco Silver Dollar line is going to be a pretty high priority for me because I'm kind of tired of standing around so much. So maybe this will be a good way to get off my feet. Second thought, I think maybe a trip into the Flooded Mines would be better. This is a shooting dark ride. I'm not sure exactly the manufacturer, probably Salicor. They do a lot. So basically, it's a water ride that you can shoot off of. And I believe one of the most accurate of shooting dark rides that you can get on. So I believe I'm going to get on and give my review after. Got 5,400 points out of that. That was pretty good. The Flooded Mines has an infrared targeting system, meaning instead of shooting for the targets, you have to kind of aim a little bit higher than the targets in order to actually get points. But if you learn that trick, like I just showed you, then you should get a pretty high score. This is the magnificent Wave Swinger, the very first stop in the Grand Exposition. This Zamperla Wave Swinger is one of many models in the world, and they all have many things in common. They are elegant family rides that have basically taken the world by storm with their beautiful design and their family-friendly ride patterns. I mean, I have never seen an ugly wave swinger in my life. The thing that this one portrays is vintage Branson. It is very fitting for a park that basically screams the exact same thing. So, yeah. Wave swingers are a beautiful type of ride, and that beauty is really what captivates a good-sized crowd. So, when the ride stops, I will go ahead and get on it and give my ride review. Like I said before, those wave swingers, they are elegant and easygoing rides. Compared to a lot of rides here, it's really tame, but it's undeniably still a good ride. So, I think I'm gonna tackle something a little bit wilder next. When I say wilder, I mean it. This is the Electro Spin, a Zamperla Disco. This ride takes you about 50 feet off the ground while that disc that you're on is spinning. This ride is a thrill in the section where it's in the Grand Exposition. Compared to the rest, however, it is still very mild. So, yeah. That's really all I can say about this, to be honest with you. So, once the ride stops, I'm going to be getting on and then giving my ride review once I get back off. Because I have every intention of riding this one. It's one of the rides in the park after all. Why not? I'm an equal opportunity roller coaster enthusiast. Even if this isn't a roller coaster, I still get on it. So, that thing is pretty high capacity. You can see how many people are, how many seats are not yet filled. I don't think that very many people were in line for it, and at this point, I see a few people over in the distance, but not very many. So I'm gonna go on ahead and get on pretty quickly. Zamperla is really well known for their rides, and the Disco and the Electro Spin are no different. But really and truly, what makes them stand out to me is the power surges. But discos in their own right are really good. They are moderate thrill rides, and you got to start somewhere. 48 inches is the minimum you have to be in order to ride. So somebody really young, like like me back in 2000, would definitely be a good starting age for something like that. So next I'm going to relive an old classic, if you catch my drift. That is to say, the racing regattas. This little ride from Zamperla, I don't really remember the model. It's a lot like a ride that I took on back in Magic Springs and Crystal Falls called Pirate Rock. But honestly speaking, the centerpiece is definitely missing some decoration, as Pirate Rock had a giant skull in the middle, whereas this basically doesn't have anything in its center. It just spins around that central axis, and don't mistake me, it is a fun ride to be sure, but it's just that the pizzazz is not as present in this ride as it was in Pirate Rock. So once it stops, I believe I will go and make my ride review of this one. Although, with what I've already said about this, I'm not sure there's really much more that I can say. So, I'll try and find out something. I usually do. That's a pretty good high-speed adventure up there. Really, it gives you a taste of what it's like to be on the high seas at times. So, speaking of which, there's another boat-themed ride that we're going to be going towards very soon. We're about to make the upgrade from regatta to galleon. The Mighty Galleon, to be more precise. This is a Zamperla rocking ship. I'm not sure of the exact model, but given it's from Zamperla, it cannot be a bounty, I don't think. That name belongs to Intamin. So, the Mighty Galleon is a standard rocking ship. It's really not. There's not really much to say here, but that's what makes it classic. This ride was much of my childhood, to be honest with you. I have ridden many of these, from Rum Runner in Magic Springs and Crystal Falls to El Conquistador in Six Flags Over Texas. This ride here I have ridden many times. And then there's the Prairie Schooner, which is in Frontier City in Oklahoma City. So yeah. As many parks and there are some carnivals that these rides are in too, like Pharaoh's Fury. It's really no wonder that this ride is so popular, and there are neat tricks that park employees have pulled on this ride that make it even cooler. I'll get more into that once I get the ride review. But for now, let's just watch this come to a complete stop, shall we? I have to say, that looks very realistic when it comes to the boat colors. You could actually see a boat looking like that. Physics at play on the Mighty Galleon are astonishing, to say the very least. So, that thing that I was telling you about, that the park employees usually show off when on the ride, I was on the front row seat to it. So, basically what happens is, they will put a glass in the center, and no matter how high or how fast that boat goes, that glass does not spill. It doesn't hardly even move. The liquid inside moves, but the glass itself completely stationary. It's some sort of physics lesson, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. So if anyone in the comment section knows, I would be very interested in hearing about it. Whoever made the teapots of old, or the teacups rides of old, they were onto something, because there have been many models that sprung up from many companies since. This is one such model, the Royal Tea Party, a Zamperla teacups ride. At least I think it's Zamperla. I believe that pretty much everything in the Grand Exposition came from Zamperla, even the roller coaster I'm going to be taking on soon. As long as it's not near 3, that is. Anyway, the premise is very simple. You just simply turn the turntable while the ride is running, and the faster you turn it, the faster you spin. So, really and truly, this is a classic ride from which there are many spin-offs and clones. Why, the Zamperla Samba balloons is one very famous example, and a smash hit with children. Not that the teacups themselves aren't notable, because they are the granddaddy of every single one of them. So, quite a bit of history on this, don't you think? And why not? A vintage ride deserves a place in a park that's all about vintage. Am I right? There are some modern examples, but this one is just a vintage classic. Many times you'll get ride vehicles that are hard to turn. Other times you'll get ride vehicles that are very easy to turn. Where do you figure that the Royal Tea Party fell this time? Very easy. And the easier that it is to turn, the more I like them, because if a ride can't really fulfill what it has on the title, then what good really is it? Just to stay stationary throughout the entire ride. So I'm about to go on the roller coaster next, and we'll see what happens from there. This is the eponymous Grand Exhibition coaster, or exposition, or I don't even know. Anyway, this is another Zamperla creation. I don't know exactly the model name, but like I said before, most if not all of the rides in the Grand Exposition is in fact made by Zamperla. So, due to how short this circuit is, this ride has to go through it 3 times in order to give a ride worth talking about. But let me tell you one thing, this thing can pack it in that little circuit right there. So, despite being a lift hill, a helix, and a final turn, this roller coaster's got a bit of energy to it. Like I said before, that roller coaster has a lot of energy packed into that little circuit. Otherwise, it's really fun. It's the main reason why I say that is because it is a little bit rough around the edges, but it is still tolerable compared to other rides. But I think I'm gonna have to go back to the entrance of the park, seeing as how we've got something planned for later on today, and I was needing to be out of the park by 3, so stay tuned for day 3. Much like with day 2, that completes part number 2 of the Mystic Branson Adventure. So, in the next episode, I will be concluding the entire adventure, and maybe there will be a actual outro in that I don't have to make a new outro for. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, this has been Coasterman, and I will see you all next time.